In case you were wondering how a cappella groups work, this is not it.
Not even a little.
No.
Mm-mm.
Hi, and welcome to the special reboot edition of Charmed Chats with Kendra.
And Kat. Oh boy.
Yeah,
Episode
today-
11.
Yeah, episode 11, Witch Perfect.
Which is, of course, Pitch Perfect.
But with witches.
With witches.
And there is one actress from Pitch Perfect in it.
Which one?
Effie.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, she's in at least the latest two Pitch Perfects. I don't remember about the first one.
I've only seen the first one and I didn't recognize her, so there you go.
She is one who only speaks in Spanish in those films.
Yeah.
Like, literally only in Spanish.
Yeah.
She can sing, but she doesn't speak English.
Yeah, I haven't actually seen anything other than the first one, so.
I enjoyed the second one, and it has John Hodgman.
I mean, I wanted to see it, but I missed it when it was in theaters.
Well, the good thing
Then,
is,
you know.
it's everywhere else. Like, literally go to the library, because they
Yeah.
have all three of them.
Yeah, I'll get there eventually.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, let's get started on this little recap.
Yeah, let's get through that summary.
We open on an antique store in Athens, Greece, where a soft professor type gets possessed by blowing on a 3,000-year-old pitch pipe. Maggie, meanwhile, in Michigan, has decided to audition for the university a cappella group, the Hilltones. She and Mel are worried about Harry's recovery. He is worried about the ramifications of Galvin being aware of magic. Macy awkwardly spills the genetic beans to her sisters. It immolates all of them in a verbal snipe war, with everyone but Macy storming out. Maggie, singing through tears, is unexpectedly accepted into the Hilltones on the spot. Macy, frustrated and a little angry, invites Galvin over for a witch and bitch session where she casts a truth spell. She discovers that her parents had been corresponding right up until her father's death. Mel comes clean to Jada about her intentions in joining the Sarkana. Jada is pleased and unsurprised. She promises to let Mel in on everything. Nico continues being a stalker across the street. Maggie's first rehearsal is going weirdly. The arrangement is shifty, and when one of the other girls calls the possessed director out on it, he cuts her in private and steals her soul. You know, like a musical director. Macy and Galvin read through Dexter's letters to Marisol. She has more questions than when she started. Lucy comforts Maggie over family drama, and Maggie's suspicion on hearing the local diva quit the Hilltones leads her to grab Mr. Miranda's pitch pipe. She hears screaming and immediately texts her sisters. At the bar, Mel and Jada are waiting to intercept a predator, as that is their Sarkana mission. Nico approaches Mel the second that Jada steps out of the room. She gives Mel her number and tells her not to let Jada drag her into a cult. Mel and Jada treat the perv to some instant karma. Macy, Harry, and Galvin find a page on sirens in the book that features the mystery pitch pipe, but Harry's powers aren't recovered enough to orb them to Maggie, so Macy texts her the vanquishing spell. When Maggie tries to use it, however, it fails. Mr. Miranda is not possessed by a siren, in fact, but by the one who arranges siren songs, the maestro, and he already has the audience under his spell, because guess what? It's concert day.
Mm-hmm.
Macy and Galvin figure out a way to combat the arrangement while Harry coaches Macy on how to trap the maestro. Maggie gets the Hilltones to revive the audience and starts them on an encore before going with Mel to find Macy and Mr. Maestro. The spell, requiring the power of 3 to work, is refusing to do its job until the girls air their grievances and work as sisters again. After it works, Macy tosses the pitch pipe to Galvin. He plays it, which releases the souls trapped within, and in turn traps the maestro. Both he and the diva wake up very confused. Back home, Maggie takes Macy up on her offer of sharing Marisol and Dexter's letters. Mel tells Jada what Nico was saying at the bar and who she is. Harry calls Charity to the attic. He's experiencing serious doubts about remaining a white lighter now that he has memories about his previous life. Macy and Maggie discover in their parents' letters a new secret, one about having resurrected Macy from the dead. End scene.
Dun, dun, dun!
It's just a bunch of twists at the end.
Oh, man.
Which I get that they gotta hook you, but like, hoy, Boy, boy. And, like,
Yeah.
okay, so because I watched this on your DVR, when I tried to click start over, it said it couldn't do that, so I hit resume, and the first thing that pops up is the preview for the next episode.
Because I always stop before the preview.
Well, yeah, but I started with that shit. And I was like, whoa, okay, back up.
Sorry about that.
No, it's fine. It's not your problem. It's not your fault.
Yeah.
But yeah, like in the preview for the next episode, we do get a little shot of past Dexter. And yeah, it's very unbelievable that he's Maggie's dad,
Well,
personally.
We'll get there eventually.
I know melanin production is variable, like skin color is variable. There's like 6 different alleles that fucking code for it or whatever. So it's entirely possible. I love seeing photos of biracial twins where one of them looks white and the other looks black, but they still look like twins.
Yeah.
It's fascinating.
Genetics are amazing.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely fascinating. That's how I got an A in genetics twice that's how I got an A in biology twice, because I took genetics. In one school, it ended the semester there, and the other school started the semester there, and so I got an A in those subjects twice, which is the only reason I passed bio.
That's cool.
Because it was the only thing about it that fascinated me. But that's neither here nor there. This episode, we thought last episode was my favorite. This one's my favorite. Like, legit. Hold on. Ow. Okay. Yeah, like last episode was my favorite. This one outshone that one. Partly because of music.
Yes, music. I just have like a general pet peeve with music in like popular culture where it so doesn't look real to me, like at all. Like even a little. Because like, okay, so there's the bit up at the end where Maggie starts singing Walking on Sunshine and they all just join in like they fucking know the arrangement. They've never practiced it.
Yeah, I actually wrote that.
Like, this was one of the
notes.
reasons why I stopped watching Glee, because they weren't portraying the process.
Yeah.
Like, if they had gone a little bit further and made it more of like a magical realism thing, I would have been fine. But they weren't. They were showing rehearsals, and then suddenly there was a beautiful polished product at the end of like a couple of days. And I'm like, that's super not how it works.
Well, that's exactly what happened in this episode too, though.
Yeah, and this was fucking instant. It wasn't like she said a spell.
Yeah.
And they cut, and then the other arrangement, okay, like I've been in like jazz choirs and barbershop choirs where like the arrangements are very tight and very complex and involve a lot of extremely conflicting harmonies. And that shit's difficult, guys.
Yeah, it really is. And this is all in dissonant tones, and so it's super duper hard.
It's tritones stacked on top of well, okay, not stacked on top of tritones, but it's like tritones layered in with other tritones.
Yeah.
Because a tritone is the devil's interval.
Yeah.
And was legitimately, I kid you not, banned by the Pope.
Yeah.
In like the 17th century. Like Palestrina. I had to do a paper on Palestrina, and this was like all the fuck over it. Like, you weren't allowed to use it. They're like, oh, it sounds so dissonant. It must be of the devil. And I'm just like,
it's just fucking minor chords, man.
No,
I know,
yeah,
but like,
well, also they had the stupid thing where you couldn't end on a minor chord, which is where the Picardy third comes from, and I fucking hate it. Like, I'd rather have an entire song made of septive chords. Like, you're not going to 1, which would be major. You're going to 6, which is minor. But instead of ending on 6, you end on 1. Like, that's fine. I will accept that. But do not turn a minor 1 into a major 1. I hate that shit. It's the fucking Deus Ex Machina of music. I hate it.
Yeah. I love when artists turn songs that are done in major keys and put them into minor keys. Like,
that's fun.
Chase Holdfelder does a lot of them, and his version of Every Breath You Take has got to be my favorite thing on the face of this earth.
Yeah.
Music-wise.
Dodie did minor Christmas songs. She's done 2 sets of these right now.
Mm-hmm.
And the second one, she like did completely different arrangements. And the one for Silent Night is possibly my favorite one.
I haven't heard those, so.
She didn't change... Well, she tried to do a different thing for each one of them. So like, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas is kind of like in a bit of a marchy tone. Okay. Silent Night, she tried something where she didn't change the melody. She just made the chords around it minor. And not that they're like in different keys or anything, just that
it's minor.
She pretended like all of the notes were going to be in a minor thing, and then it sounds really haunting and kind of eerie, and I love it.
I'll have to listen to those.
Yeah, you'll have to. It's one of her more recent ones. It's like the 3rd one down on her videos or whatever in her normal channel. So yeah, check that out.
Yeah, I'll absolutely check that out.
They're all really good fucking arrangements, and I love them. And like some of the chords she has in I forget which one, but there's like 4 songs. But some of the chords she has in one of them are just like nice and crunchy, and they've got some clusters, and I love them because I love a cluster.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, like I said, Chase Holtfelder, his version of Every Breath You Take makes that song. Yeah, you showed me that. Yeah, it makes that song the creepy song that it is.
I know.
And it is just amazing.
My main association with that song is an episode of Ghost Whisperer.
Yeah.
Well, no, because, like, one of the characters, her dead husband was trying to contact her, and apparently that was their song. I'm just like, why?
Because people think it's a love song?
Yeah, I know. It was weird. Not. It was weird. And, like, it did come off as creepy in the episode, and I'm just like, is he trying to, like, fucking kill you because you're kind of in love with this other dude? And no, apparently he was trying to get them together.
Yeah.
Just weird. Yeah. It's like, hey, I'm here. I'm watching you. I'll move on now. Bye.
Yeah, no, but I like the fact that Maggie kept up the singing because it kept the audience where they were and the hill tones where they were. Yeah. But, like, legit, I wrote in my notes, I was like, are they just making shit up on the spot now? Because they sure as shit did not practice that song.
No, they didn't at all. And it was kind of nebulous how she managed to, quote-unquote, rescue them from doing all of the weird dissonant harmonies and shit. Like, she literally was just singing the melody, and it was like up an octave or something. It was different from how Lucy was singing it.
Yeah.
It was nice to see Lucy again, though.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know, I actually didn't mind it. The thing that
but yeah,
was
it just,
weird
like
was...
the other girls who were singing the dissonant tones just stopped doing it.
But they didn't right away.
Not right away, no.
And the way that the dissonant tones sounded with the harmony was actually really cool. Mm-hmm. Like, whoever was the person who arranged that, like... That was really cool.
Yeah, it was like a slow-mo car wash where they have the tentacle rags, like, swaying back and forth.
Yeah.
But slow-mo.
Yeah.
That's how it felt to me. That's the visual I got. Because they were also swearing when they were doing it in that first scene.
Yeah, but it was one of those where, like, I was hearing that song with the dissonance and the normal major
with that
harmony.
Song, it works super well.
It worked really, really well, and I would love to hear an entire song that way.
Oh my god, yes.
Because it was so cool. Mm-hmm. Anyway, let's go back up to the beginning for a moment. I love that we get ancient Greece, or not ancient Greece, but Athens, Greece. I knew what I meant. Athens, Greece.
Ancient.
It's Athens, Greece in an antique shop.
I know.
My mouth was having trouble with those. Yeah. I enjoy A Demon in a Pitch Pipe. It's very tropey, but in a good way.
Yeah.
And I also enjoy the fact that the first thing that this dude decides to play is the Devil's Tritone. Like, really?
There were only 3 pipes on that thing, though. Like, how's he gonna know?
He only played 2 of them.
Yes, because then the thing fucking possessed him.
Right.
But, like, that's not his fault. But there are only 3 pipes on that pitch pipe. Like, I'm pretty sure both of them are going to be tritones. So if we played the first and the third, it would have been an octave.
Yeah.
Because that's how tritones work.
Yeah.
Because they're a diminished fifth, as Galvin says.
Yes.
I loved when he and Macy were, like, nerding out about acoustic physics.
Yes, I love that they got to be science bros.
Yeah, I know.
Like, it was great.
It was
I also enjoy, and like I said in the last one, I like that he gets to be the human, where he just knows things.
Yeah.
You know? Like, and she questions, like, how do you know this? And he's like,
I know jazz.
I got family from New Orleans.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, nice. There's jazz in the family. I like that the logo came up in, like, this white smoke that was, like, reminiscent of the soul thing.
Yeah, like, of his soul getting, like, sucked into the pitch.
Yeah, it was a nice logo this time. I also thought it was very funny that Harry was apparently he was writing in the journal and he hides the journal because he's writing down stuff, but then he picks up a magazine, which
Royal Rarebit.
Yeah, Royal Rarebit, the magazine. Like, what? Like, I love the props department was like, yeah, this will be a magazine that the British guy would read.
They're just capitalizing on that bit a couple episodes ago where he was eating Welsh Rarebit.
Yep. Oh man, it was great. I do like that he was writing down what he could remember from his hell memories, because that was genius. That was brilliant.
Yeah.
And that's why the going back to that episode where he asked Maggie, I'll take your scorpions, whatever. In the moment when it happened, it seemed like a selfless act. But now we're going, okay, but was it selfish because he wanted more memories? So he could try and piece it together?
I don't think in the moment it was, but I think now he's definitely taking advantage of the fact that it did happen.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, I have more memories to, like, capitalize on here.
Yeah.
We do see he's still got, like, the black veins and stuff. And his powers aren't working. When Charity comes over, and she's wearing that capelet again.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know if I can be their white lighter. And now it makes sense to me about the memory erasure. Like, they give the white lighters a clean slate so then that they can imprint on their charges.
Right.
And so, legitimately, them having their previous memories is going to end up being a conflict of interest, especially if they have living relatives.
Yep.
Because now they're not going to be focused on their charges.
Right.
And, I was half expecting him to tell Charity that the only way out was for his memories to be re-erased again, or whatever. But he's like, no, it's for me to stop. And I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah, I think
he's like, I don't feel like the same person. I'm like, well, you're not.
Yeah, I think, like I said last time, is I think it's very interesting that they're letting him be a little human. And it's nice to see that he's got that conflict.
Yeah. Yeah, now he's got secrets that aren't about whether or not the girls can trust him. It's just about shit that's happened to him. It's like he's got baggage now.
Yeah.
Like actual fucking baggage.
Yeah.
It's fascinating.
I also love that Macy's way of like venting is she like at least at the first moment of it is like, oh, she goes into baking mode. And she's venting to Galvin, but it's like, oh no, she's making, a spell smoothie.
Yeah. She did basically the same thing that Maggie did, except now hers is a green smoothie instead of matcha paste.
Yeah.
And, like, she literally pours it from the blender into a bowl, and then puts it on a brush, and then brushes on her hands, and then claps her hands together.
Yeah, it was a lot of, like, she did this.
A lot of steps.
It was a lot of steps, and I wondered just personally, I went, why is she putting it in the bowl to then rub it with a brush on her hand? Like,
they needed her to say some lines, and they needed her to be doing something when she said them.
Apparently so.
Yeah. And
the other thing is,
we've had truth spells before in the other series, and there was always, like, a real unexpected... Well, I mean, this is more of a lost and found spell, I would say. Sort of. It's like a hybrid between a lost and found spell and a truth spell. Because it's like, find the hidden secrets.
Right, it was revealed hidden secrets.
And then all of these fucking books just fly around the room.
One of them, I thought we saw, it was somebody's diary.
Yeah.
Like, there's papers and stuff. And they don't matter. None of that comes into play at all.
And then she catches the box full of letters.
Yeah, she catches the box full of letters, which are apparently letters between Dexter and Marisol.
Yeah, and the last one is postmarked March 2016.
Correct.
Which is apparently the month before Dexter died.
Right, and we get their addresses, so we get that he is in...
Haverford, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Is that a real town?
I don't know. I honestly didn't think to look it up because,
It might be. Hilltown isn't, and Hilltown is spelled with an E.
Yes, Hilltown.
Which I did not realize.
Yep. I loved the fact that they apparently live on Sanderson Court.
That is funny.
Because I immediately went, oh, somebody likes Hocus Pocus.
Yep.
And he's on Howard Street. Like, oh, all right, sure. But I did think it was very, very funny that, like, she did this spell to reveal secrets. And, reveal the hidden secrets, whatever.
And, of course, the only thing that it really reveals is the thing she wants to know about.
Right. But, like I said, we get a bunch of other stuff flying out of papers and stuff, whatever, and we see a diary that just, like, flies onto the floor someplace.
Or, like, a counter or something.
Yeah. But then that doesn't get mentioned at all. No. So now it's the question, and we're just putting this out because we don't know what's happening. Will that show up later in another episode? Will somebody mention it?
Maybe.
Maybe not. Who knows?
Yeah, but, like, I love that Galvin is involved in this.
Yes.
Like, he's being a chum, and he's, hanging out with her and, like, helping her through her shit because, like, this is confusing and it's making her sisters uncomfortable. And, like, that they're out on the back porch at that patio table reading letters. He's like, I know when your sister was conceived.
Yep. That was great.
It was unclear to me whether he meant New Year's Eve 2000 as in, like, 1999 to 2000 or 2000 to 2001.
That I'm not positive, but I'm going to assume 1999.
Okay, because if he doesn't mean that, then Maggie's only 17.
Yeah.
Yeah, because 9 months.
Well,
which means she and I were born around the same time.
Nice. So that's the thing is let me find it in my notes right quick. When they're reading the letters, we find out that on Macy's 10th birthday, Mel would have been 7 with Maggie being a baby. So that just shows the age gap there.
Yeah.
Which I don't think we were aware of as much.
No.
Before now.
Yeah.
So that's quite interesting. I didn't realize that. Like, I knew that Mel was much older than Maggie, but I didn't realize by how much.
Well, yeah, she's in grad school, so that's 4 years.
Yeah.
4 years of undergrad plus however many of her grad program. Like, she was almost done.
Yeah.
With her grad program.
Yeah. So that's what I said. Like, I realized that she was older. I just didn't realize how much older. And then that means, of how much older that Macy is.
Yeah.
Which explains why she's so far into being science girl.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, they're a little older than I thought.
Well, no, Macy mentioned before she was 28.
Well, no, I know. Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, in that, the logic thing in my brain, it's like, oh, okay, that makes a little more sense of their age craziness and as to why the question of how their relationship goes. Because, when you're that far apart in age, sometimes you don't always get along.
I have found in a lot of cases, like, talking to people, that once you get past about 4 years of age gap, relationships between siblings improve pretty dramatically.
It depends on the siblings.
It depends on the siblings, but, like, generally, the closer you are in age, especially if you're, like, different gendered siblings, the more conflict you have.
Yeah.
Because you're always, like, involved in the same things because you're at the same developmental point, you're at the same school. Like, I remember when I was a kid and my brother and I were at the same school, we'd fight more often. And, like, when I was a freshman in high school, he was a senior. And I was in orchestra, and a lot of his friends were in orchestra, and he was very peeved. He felt like I was stepping on his toes just by having friends who he was friends with. And, like, dude, can't fucking control that. Like, I wasn't friends with all of his friends. He had other friends, too.
Hi, I went to Catholic school my freshman year because that way I wasn't in the same school as my brother when he was a senior. We all have our things.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, I didn't want to be known as his little sister, and so I was like, I'm just not going to go to that school. How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, we were close enough that if we were in the same school, there was an issue because people would, like, associate us with each other, and he really fucking hated that.
Yeah.
Because he was a huge dick at that point in his life.
Well,
And I was annoying and adorable. And annoying.
Yep.
And annoying. I was very annoying at that age.
Anyway, so I like the fact the demon in the music teacher. Is it weird that I enjoy him just for the line of subpar Aguilera circa 2001 vocal parkour?
Yeah, that's great.
Like, it was one of the best lines. I'm like, yeah. Yeah.
It was good shit. Yeah.
It was great.
I like that his fashion sense improved when he went to Greece.
Yeah.
Because demons are with
man.
the fashion.
They're into it.
He also completely just fucking left his glasses in Greece.
Well, apparently so, yeah.
In that antique shop.
The other thing that made me laugh was as Maggie is trying to figure out like what to possibly text to Ray, we get people being bitchy to her. And I was like, wait, so the Hilltones are almost as bad as the sorority girls? Great.
Well, hey, Lucy's in there.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, because it is the fucking sorority girls. Great. And then I had this funny moment where they were like talking about Effie, and my brain was just like, what kind of name is Effie? Hi, Aphrodisia. Because like, I had that Buffy moment, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, it was great.
But I loved the little heart-to-heart that Maggie and Lucy got to have there, where I don't think we'd heard this before. Like, we knew that Lucy's dad had left her mom to be with his CrossFit instructor. We did not know the CrossFit instructor was a dude.
Yep.
That's almost her age.
Yep.
Like, holy fucking shit. Her dad's a sugar daddy.
Yeah.
And she does a slightly homophobic impression of him.
Yeah.
It's like something about a hot mess is better than no hotness at all. And then does this weird, like, tongue click. And I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, whatever. It's an interesting line of thinking, but I kind of like it.
Yeah.
I also like the fact that Maggie was smart enough to know that Effie wouldn't just quit.
Sure.
And that hearing Effie in the pitch pipe was like, oh, okay, that means that her soul might still be able to be saved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, awesome. However, point of order, you can't zoom in on Instagram. So she should have been taking a screenshot to show off that picture, or they were in some other program that looked like Instagram. Yeah. But you can't zoom in on Instagram, which is one of the reasons I dislike Instagram. Mm-hmm. Because you can't zoom in. It drives me crazy.
Yeah.
Because I want to be able to zoom in.
Mm-hmm.
But, just saying.
Yeah.
The other thing that I think is very funny is because of at the end of it when they're, when they have to get through the power of 3 because they have to get themselves back on track as sisters, which is why they need the power of 3 for the spell. We get, Mel going first. And then, okay, he's still not doing it. He works his way out of being frozen. Freeze him again. Okay, Macy's gonna do it. And Macy just kind of turns to Maggie and is like, okay, your turn. She goes, no, I got it all out with Lucy. I'm good. Like, I just love that.
Yeah, that's good shit.
It's like, I don't need to tell you how I'm feeling because I've worked through it. I'm okay.
Uh-huh.
It's like, all right, beautiful. Also, I think it's great that Galvin knew the Devil's Tritone. And so they were able to just, throw him the thing and he could do it. And I love that they cut to Effie being pissed off that they were singing without her. Mm-hmm. But then that doesn't get paid off at all.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's nothing. We just see her getting pissy in the dressing room, which does make me wonder, like, where was she stashed in that room that nobody noticed her? Mm-hmm. Just saying. But then Galvin does the Devil's Tritone. The souls get released, and he goes, did I just vanquish my first demon? And my first thought was, you might not want to shout that, buddy.
Well, the entire time they were shouting from the catwalk down, I'm like, the audience can definitely hear
that. Absolutely. Like it's just because you're backstage doesn't mean
it's the magical realism of television where they're just like, if we don't show you that someone's hearing something, they can't hear it.
Yeah. And again, we get, once again, the person getting possessed by a demon remembers nothing. Mm-hmm. And doesn't seem to have an issue with the fact that, I was in Greece last I knew, now I'm back here.
Yep.
Okay. Like, sure. That's a thing that happened.
Sorry, I was just trying to find some of the Instagram posts I'd seen for this episode because Gina Rodriguez was on set for this. I think she was helping with choreography or something.
I don't know. Maybe she directed the episode?
I don't know.
I think she directed the last episode.
I kept seeing her
I don't know.
on for I think there was one thing with her and the guy playing Mr. Miranda. Let me see whose Instagram was that. I think that was Madeline's. Oh no, maybe it was the official one. It might have been the official one. Yes, it was.
All right.
Okay.
Anyway,
that
is a visual medium, and we are...
I know. But, like, if you go to the CW Charmed Instagram feed, you'll see a photo of Gina Rodriguez. It looks like helping with fight choreography between the guy playing Mr. Miranda and Madeline Mantock.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Cool. Anyway, I also enjoy that Mel has now finally learned that, secrets can be used to help protect loved ones.
Yeah.
So they're letting her finally grow, even if it's just baby steps.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited about it. It makes me very happy.
Yeah, I wonder if she told Jada more than what we saw her say, because she tells her that Nico is an ex, and that she appears to be a PI, which honestly I don't think she is.
Okay, so I have
Jada
a thing about
then
that.
says something about her parents, and I'm like, whoa, what the fuck?
Right. So I have a thing about this. So let's bop back a little bit. So Jada and Mel are at the bar, at the haunt.
Yeah.
Waiting for this dude to, do something to this girl. Jada walks away. Nico comes up.
Immediately pounces on her.
And
it's just like, hey, your friend Jada might be in a cult. There are people who are worried about her. And I'm like, I don't know if she's lying.
And again, this is where I thought my thing was justified. I was like, see, I knew she wasn't going to be after Mel. She was going to be after Jada. I was like, call your dad, you're in a cult. Okay, fine. Like, I get this logic. So, but here's my question. So when, after the fact, when Mel tells Jada that, Nico is a PI and she's also my ex, why does she say that? Because in this world, she's not.
But it is a little difficult to explain, and I get that. So I'm wondering if she might have clarified later. But okay, so the reason why my brain is like, I don't know if Nico is telling the full truth. One, she might be aware of magic, but not be aware that Mel knows about magic. So that's one scenario. Like, she was sent by Jada's parents, and she knows about magic because they had to explain to her that Jada is in, like, a magical witchy culty thing. That are, like, dedicated to whatever the fuck. Because, remember, her parents are a witch and a white lighter. So that's a whole part of their shtick. Or, she could be, like, a regular PI who maybe, I don't know, fucking saw Mel and it, like, jogged something in their memory. Because when we see her at the bar, she orders a Pinot Grigio and expects Mel to turn around. Like, she's standing there staring at her, waiting for her to turn around. Why would she do that? Unless, no, hang on. It smacks of, I know you're going to notice my voice and turn around. We're like, if a stranger just orders a drink next to you, do you turn around? No. But Mel heard her, recognized her, and then does the very guilty, like, spin on the bar stool and turns around, and then Nico introduces herself. That's a little weird. It's a little weird for a stranger to introduce themselves that way instead of coming up and saying hi. Or, like, ordering and then going, hey, and then they turn around. Like, it's just a little weird, and I don't know if that's, like, a writing error or if it's intentional or what.
The other option, and this is just a thing, is the fact that she asks the bartender for a Pinot Grigio. Instead of a Pinot Grigio, which would actually, be the full thing. And so it's the expecting to turn around because I've now asked for a weird thing.
I don't think that would go.
But
however, the last time we saw them together, what was she drinking? Pinot Grigio. They called it Pinot Grigio.
I get that.
Yeah, which is how she's supposed to recognize her voice.
But that's what I'm saying, is if you're thinking about it in the she still doesn't know her, it's the I've now asked for a weird thing.
I know,
and if she doesn't turn around in a moment, I'll tap on her shoulder.
I don't. Yeah, but like I don't know. It was just like weirdly blocked. I don't know. It could go either way. It could be just like a writing issue for me. It could be that I'm reading too much into it.
You might be a little.
Might be.
But...
Or maybe like it'll go in a direction neither of us are thinking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. As this show has become twists and turns.
Yeah. I know sometimes when I like write random fan fiction because I'm bored in the car about stuff, and then a new installment of said stuff comes out and they do a weird plot point that I did in the fan fiction that like wasn't really hinted at. I'm just like, is my subconscious picking up on shit? Like, subconscious, would you tell me what you're picking up on? Because I don't fucking know.
Yep. The other thing that I think is very funny is when the dude does go to slip the thing into the girl's drink.
She, like, magnetizes his hand to the glass.
So Mel freezes the room. Jada does the weird, like, lightning thing with the spell, and his hand gets stuck to the glass. And then, as she goes back over to Mel, before Mel unfreezes the room, Jada grabs her drink.
Yeah.
And then the room unfreezes. So anybody paying attention to her would have noticed that all of a sudden there's a drink in her hand that wasn't there a second ago. Just saying. The fact of Nico is paying attention and taking fucking pictures, all of a sudden there is this underlying thing.
Is she still taking pictures?
I don't know if she
approached Mel before this.
Right. I don't know if she's still taking pictures of this because we aren't seeing them. But
my number on the napkin.
But my point is the fact that we know as an audience that Nico's been taking pictures. Mm-hmm. And so if she happened to be taking pictures at that moment, she would have seen all of a sudden there's a drink in her hand where there wasn't a moment ago. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, it never comes up and it might not ever come up, but it was just a thing to think about.
But yeah, it was weird how the girl he was about to drug was talking to didn't notice that he was literally staring at this girl for like 10 minutes.
Well, time is relative in this show.
Well, it was a while. Like, we saw several shots of him just sitting there staring at this little Asian girl. I say little, young Asian woman. And when we get a reverse shot where we're seeing his hand, like, poised by her drink, we see the woman she's talking to, who's clearly within the sightline to look at this dude.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
Somehow just doesn't
pay attention. Right. But here's the other thing.
And then when the room freezes, we do get a shot, and they're both looking, like, toward one of the doors. Which, right. Of course, that's his opportunity. Handy enough.
Right. But so here's the other thing about this that like I said, time is relative. Because Maggie texts Macy, Mel, and Harry.
Yes, she texts them the photo and the stuff.
Right. We never see Mel get that text message. We never hear her phone buzz, nothing. And she doesn't acknowledge it in any way, shape, or form of even like, oh, my phone's going off, I'll get it later.
Yeah.
So the time is questionable as to when things happen.
Yeah.
Just saying. Let's see. One of the other random things that I thought was hilarious is when they show the book. I love that Galvin was there to see the book do the flipping thing, and he's like, that's so cool.
I know.
But so when it looks like the demon's going to be a siren, I immediately was like, well, that's too easy because, and because he also seems to be a little bit more fixated on the power behind the voice than being the voice itself. So that's why I was like, I don't think he's a siren, but who knows? But so what we see is the little pitch pipe is what's written in the book, and what Macy says it is called is the mystiki flauto, which in Greek translates to secret flash. When I'm assuming that they wanted it to be
mystical flute?
Yeah, it would be mystic flute, which would have been mystico flauto with a little accent on the O and an accent on the A. With a few extra letters. Like, it was one of those where somebody thought that it sounded right, and it was very, very close.
Yep.
But it was just a little wrong, and I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, it was extremely funny.
Yeah. I also enjoy, and this is the moment where I was like, they're giving you a bit of message with a capital M, but it's very conversational in that Galvin asks about, aren't sirens women? And Harry says, yes, but gender is fluid. Because the way he says it was so, like, unforced. It was just part of the conversation. And that's why I liked that moment where it was like, while it was still giving you the message with the capital M,
Like, honestly,
it was nice.
I missed that.
Yeah, because it wasn't forced. It was just conversational. Mm-hmm. It was great. Though I do think it interesting that, okay, so Harry's powers aren't working. Mm-hmm. He has mentioned that he wants to possibly leave being their white lighter, which makes me wonder if we're going to get another white lighter at some point.
Yeah.
Or are we just going to get Elder Pantsuit helping them out somehow, a little bit more? After he learns his powers aren't working, he then tells Macy to text Maggie the vanquishing spell. So were they going to go without knowing what the spell was?
I think they read it and they're like, we're going to do this now, so we're going to remember it. I think that was the intent.
Okay, because that just seemed a little bit weird. Mm-hmm. Just a little bit weird.
Yeah. I liked the slight comedy of the dude trying to drug the woman, suddenly cannot get his hand off of this woman's wine glass, and he's like sloshing it around.
I thought that was funny, though I did think it was a little too on the nose that the girl looks and goes, he was going to roofie me. Like, really? Like,
I mean, that's where I would go first too. Be like, hey, what are you doing to my drink? Why is your hand in my drink?
Right.
Because like you saw like one of his fingers was fucking in it.
Right, his finger was in it. But see, my first thought was, if that had happened to me, this dude is trying to, grabbing my drink, and he's like, he's not putting it down. My first thought is, why are you stealing my drink, motherfucker? It wouldn't be he's trying to roofie me. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Just saying.
Also, I'm wondering what the purpose of Jada whispering in his ear was. It said something like justice now.
That was her spell.
Oh, was that the spell?
That was the spell.
Okay.
Yeah.
It didn't register as a spell to me because it didn't rhyme.
Yeah, that was the spell.
And also it wasn't a haiku.
For me, it was the question of why was there the little growl that she did? Like, why with the sexual growl? Really?
I don't know. It's Jada. It was really funny because I think it might have been a hair change or like a makeup change or something. But like after the long hiatus, when we came back to last episode, for a second I was like, is this a different woman? Mm-mm. She looked different in a way where that could have been explained by it being a different but similar looking actress to me. And so I actually had to go look it up and be like, okay, that is the same woman. Okay, I'm not crazy.
It is indeed the same woman.
Or I am crazy. I don't know.
Well, we're all a little crazy. Okay, so when they stop the maestro by Macy coming in and flinging him into the ropes.
And they just wrap around
him.
Yeah.
That was great. But then as he starts to get away because, Galvin is being attacked by the song, he's climbing the ropes. Why doesn't she try to stop him using her power? Like, I understand you wanting to not leave Galvin. I get that. But why aren't you just using your power to wrap him up again?
Dunno.
Oh, that's right. Because we have to have a fucking fight on a catwalk. Mm-hmm. Sure, that's a thing.
It wasn't much of a fight on a catwalk.
It really wasn't much of a fight at all, but...
And it was really interesting. Mel freezes Maestro while he's got his hands around Macy's neck. When we see her slipping out of his hands, his face is CGI frozen, but the rest of him is just, like, still.
Yeah.
That was a really good effect, and it made it a little easier to believe as opposed to his just entirely, he's just trying to be still and keep his hands around her neck, and she has to slip out of them.
Yeah.
I really liked that attention to freezing detail, frankly.
Yeah, they did a very good job. I also enjoy that when we cut back to Harry as he's trying to find things, he finally just gives up looking and just asks for help, and a book pops out. And it made me smile that even he gets help. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, cool.
Like
I
they
that.
Can use their Book of Shadows is essentially Siri, and apparently she's infected the entire library.
Yep,
just a little.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, what else is there that I enjoy? Oh, right. So why is Wheelchair Girl being a bitch during the auditions?
Because apparently everyone in an a cappella group has to be a bitch or a diva.
Yeah, like this was my biggest question. And this is why I say is like, oh, they're like the sorority chicks where it's like just being bitchy for no fucking reason. I was very confused.
It's an audition. People always think auditions are supposed to be extremely like confrontationally competitive. And honestly, they're not. Like most everyone is just being a nervous chihuahua in a corner. Mm-hmm. Just like worried. Like all the people in the line, that's pretty real. You like study whatever the fuck you're doing and walk out and try to do it, and you're just like overthinking it constantly.
Yeah.
That's very true of every audition I've ever been to.
Yeah.
But being bitchy on the way out is not. They're like, oh, you mostly just breathe and hand it off and just like take a sec.
Yeah, like you take a moment to be like, okay, I'm done now. I can relax. You know, it's out of my hands now.
Yeah.
But like, why you got to be bitchy? Like, I don't understand that.
I was a little miffed she didn't get like the matching outfit at the end. She just wore black.
Yeah.
Like, did they not find a jacket to fit her?
Yeah.
Did they not bother to like get one tailored so that she could wear it?
Yeah. They didn't even give her anything that was like the same shade of
yeah.
You know,
like they were cool outfits. It would have been nice to have her included in that.
Yeah. I did like that the Hilltones were a group of women who were different sizes and shapes and not genders.
Abilities.
Well, maybe genders. We don't know. But like they weren't all tiny blonde girls. You know what I mean?
True,
like
true.
they were very different.
Yeah.
And it was very nice. Made me very happy. I also enjoy the fact that that because Maggie is sad, she sings Walking on Sunshine in a minor key.
It wasn't in a minor key.
But like okay. But like she sings it in that like that slightly dissonant like
no, it was just
she sang it in a very sad
Well, no,
way.
the woes were just a chromatic alteration. It wasn't a minor key.
Okay. She didn't sing it in the major key that it was meant to be sung in.
I mean, true, it was a cappella, so like if the accompaniment was gonna be in a minor key, we wouldn't know because there was none. But like, there were just some accidentals thrown in for flair.
Mm-hmm. But yeah. I enjoyed the fact that she was sad, and so it came out in the music. Mm-hmm. And she has a really good voice.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, she's done like Descendant stuff and stuff.
I was gonna say, if it's actually her singing.
No, it is.
I'm assuming that it is, but you never know in Hollywood.
It is.
Okay.
Trust me on this. I can spot them.
All right. I'll take your
Plus,
word for
also, I think she's done some singing for like Descendants and stuff.
I haven't seen that, so I don't know.
Neither have
I. And then toward the end, I enjoy that Elder Pantsuit has put Harry in check. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, stop it.
Yeah, like, she's trying to be supportive, but she's also like, Harry.
Yeah, it's like, I
she's
understand.
also like clearly still really into him and like trying to give him space, but also she's like, hey, you don't want space anymore?
Yeah, exactly. I like the fact that he wants to leave to make sure the girls are safe, and she's just like, you have to tell them. Like, you can't not tell them.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to do this, fine. You have to tell them.
Speaking of telling people things, when Macy first approaches her sisters about telling them about the genetic thing, she's like, she just hands them the papers, and they don't get it, and they're being a little obtuse about it. And she's like, well, the chromatins, it tells you everything. Like, what does it tell you? Spit it out! And she goes from, like, completely nervous nerd who has to go through the technicalities of everything to, like, not your dad! And there's such a wide gap in there. There's so much middle ground she could have taken advantage of and just didn't.
Yeah. Though I also really enjoy the fact that when she decides to, like, tell them about it, she immediately goes science-y first. Mm-hmm. Because that's her, like, go-to. Mm-hmm. And as soon as they're like, I don't understand, she spits it out, and Mel's just like, no, that can't be true. And she goes, no, really, it is. It's right here on the paper. Like, I love that, like, her backup is back to the science-y thing of, like, I promise you, I'm not wrong.
Yeah, and, like, I get from her perspective, she's coming at this from a, like, oh, this could give us more answers. Like, we know that mom lied about stuff, but now we maybe know a little more why.
Yeah.
And I get that this makes Mel angry because she's like, I don't want my mom being called a liar.
Yeah.
But
she's also like, if my mom was such a good liar, you know, what else don't we know?
Yeah.
And she immediately is suspicious.
Yeah.
Because, you know, heaven forfend people keep secrets.
I know, right?
Just, you know, saying. I do like that we get Maggie and Macy bonding over the love letters at the end.
And the spontaneous dance parties.
Yes. Gotta love a good spontaneous dance party. And then the twist.
Apparently.
The final twist of this episode was like, oh shit. All right. This show is finally making me want to come back for more. Like, they've learned, just give me a twist at the end and I'll be like,
resurrected Macy from the dead.
Yeah.
when she was a baby.
Like, oh, okay.
Which ties in to when they went into the past and they saw Marisol, and she's like, there's something wrong with the baby.
Yeah.
What? Was it stillborn? Did it have a genetic defect? What's going on?
Right.
What's this darkness? Is it related to her having been fucking dead?
Maybe.
Yeah. And,
Perhaps.
wait, do you want to know about the preview for the next episode?
I mean...
Because I watched it.
I don't normally watch them while I'm doing the thing because, you know... Mm-hmm. But if you did and...
Yeah, there was just, like, some voiceover where they're talking about how Dexter and Marisol resurrected Macy, and they're like, oh, well, they must have had help to do that, and so Macy goes about trying to summon the person who helped her, and we don't see this person in the preview. We just see, like, some like, blonde hair or whatever, so I don't know who it is. But they do mention Tartarus, like, right at the top of the preview.
Okay, so...
And I don't know what the fuck is going on. It's something like they brought someone back from Tartarus to resurrect her. And so she has to go find this person. Okay. So I'm very intrigued.
Okay.
I'm very intrigued. I can't wait.
Okay.
17th, get here faster, please.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, no, I think with my final thoughts on this, like I said, the last episode, I gave it, like an 8 out of 10. Mm-hmm. This one, 8.5. Yeah. Like, it was just that little extra of, like, you know, you get the music in there, and then you get this twist at the end, and you get, you know, Galvin being able to help even though he's just a human. Mm-hmm. You get Harry trying to be like, I'm going to find my not dead son, and I'm going to not be the White Lighter anymore because I can't, you know, help them, I can't save them, whatever. Like, there was just so many things in this particular episode where it was like, well, fuck, all right, let's do this.
Yeah.
And it was really, really good, and I'm excited for the next one.
Nico's around.
Yeah. Like,
and I liked how chill Mel was being, talking to Nico.
Yeah, I think like
she's like, oh yeah, what do you live in town? Like, she was actually being kind of chill, but we could tell, like,
yeah. Like, again, while Mel is still my least favorite character, and she probably always will be, she's getting better. Mm-hmm. And, like, they're letting her grow as a character much more. And I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
And while I don't necessarily want her to get back with Nico.
Yeah.
If she does in this world, it would be different. And so I'm kind of okay with it. But, like, is it weird that, like, part of me is, like, I want Nico to already be with somebody, and so she can't.
Yeah.
You know, like, let Nico be happy, that sort of thing.
Yeah, what was her ex's name? Greta?
Yeah, I think so. Something like that. Yeah. But again, the twist ending
I want to know
like,
what the fuck happened
let's do this.
In Nico's life when she never met Mel.
Mm-hmm.
Because we find out a little bit of what happened with Mel, but, like, Mel still remembers the previous life.
Right.
Nico doesn't.
Right.
I'm intrigued.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know. I don't want them to drop this.
I don't think they're going to drop it, but they may take a little longer to make it all work. We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. I'm very happy that while it took, 10, 11 episodes for me to be like, okay, I want to see the next one, I'm happy that it's finally gotten there. Because it doesn't feel like a chore to watch anymore. And the fact that they got renewed makes me happy for them.
Yay!
I'm always happy for people in a show when they get renewed because it's like, everybody deserves to work.
Yes.
And they're all very good actresses and actors, and like they're doing a lovely job.
Yeah.
And it's not a bad show.
Yes.
It has gotten better. But yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, and then the next episode that's airing on the 17th is the one I was on set for.
Nice.
So we'll get to see the scene that I saw filmed. And I'll actually be able to talk about some fucking shit.
I'm so excited for that. You have no idea.
I'm excited. I can't wait to see how it turned out.
Yes. I am ecstatic beyond ecstatic.
Fuck, I just figured it out. I just realized from the preview and what I saw what's going on. Okay, great. I have insider information. This is cool.
Wonderful.
Whoo, baby.
Well, that will have to wait till next time.
Yes, it will.
All right, bye.
That's not how we end this.
I don't remember.
We don't?
We don't have a sign off.